Right. Here he comes to save the day.
And hopefully not looking too fabulous for Dirty Joke. Okay, still thanks.
There's a small picture, and so it's hard to see in detail.
Try clicking on the picture.
Doesn't help.
But seriously, look at the sword and the armor. It just looks like it has goddamn melted.
It did.
Yeah, sort of a little creepy when you think of it. And then he just backstab for triple damage, and then the wizard is down.
Yep.
Well done. You, in your little scouting outfit, did what was it, maybe 5, 6 heavily armored knights could not.
Yeah. Well met, sire, he says excitedly. I feared you were dead and buried at the Temple of Anta. I too thought you were dead, Prague, you reply, thankful to see him still alive. Yet it still seems the fate has decreed otherwise. I was lucky, he says. I escaped from Magnorn. The random number god was with me for once. But come, sire, there's no time for tales now. We must away from here. Follow me. I know where the warlord is hiding. He's onto you, warlord.
Oh, snap.
He really went there. Okay.
You follow Prague to the top of the steps, as you race along the body-strewn battlements, you see the fighting which is reaching both inside and outside the city. The battlements end at a tower where a flight of spiral steps ascend to a circular landing. Here you wait in the shadows until a troop of Dracarum pass by. While you are waiting for them to disappear, you look out of the tower through an arrow slit and see the waters of the Gulf of Lentia and the conflict that is raging across the coastal plain. The King's Crusaders reached the city gates 3 days ago, whispers Prague. They were close to taking the city when Magnorn and his armies arrived. His newfound power shattered the Crusaders, but even though they were broken by it, not all were ejected from the city. Those who saw fighting at the keep are trying to hold out until our allies arrive from Castland. The fleet is expected at any time. Magnorn must be slain. He and his scepter have become one entity. He is now a puppet of a far greater evil. A shudder runs down your spine as, for the first time since you entered dark, you feel the presence of the Doomstone. Fear returns to haunt you. The fear that the evil gem will sap your strength, as it did when first you encountered it at the Temple of Anta. If this is still so, then Magnorn may prove impossible to defeat. Prague senses your anxiety, and he offers some words of advice and hope. The taking of Dark has weakened the warlord. He has paid a terrible price. He has been forced to retire from the battle in order to recover his strength, and is presently at his weakest. Now, sire, is the time to strike. Beyond the landing lies a corridor which leads to a junction where another passageway crosses from left to right. You look to the right and see that the way is blocked by a heavy steel door. Prague utters a curse under his breath, and then he explains his anger. That way leads directly to the palace tower. Magnorn is hiding there in its uppermost chamber. Anxiously, he glances along the opposite passage and furrows his brow. Perhaps we can get there by another route, he muses. Do you wish to investigate the closed door, or look for another way for reaching the palace tower?
Let's just take a look at the door.
Yeah, sure.
You hurry to the door and examine the lock. It is a unique design, quite unlike any you have ever seen before. It appears to be made entirely of silver, with a keyhole that is smooth and circular in shape. Do you have a silver rod?
Yeah, we have.
Do you wish to use it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Guided by your instincts, you take the silver rod from your pocket and insert it into the lock. It is a perfect fit. Silently, the lock disengages and the door swings open to reveal 2 Tukudak guards, both standing with their backs to you. One feels a draught and glances over his shoulder, but before he can draw a weapon or warn his comrade, you leap forward and silence them both with 2 swift and deadly open-handed blows to the napes of their necks.
Well, hiya, motherfuckers.
Eat my Vulcan dope slap!
Not...
Shoot a chop! Shoot a chop!
You detect a strong presence of evil lurking somewhere nearby, and you warn Prague of what you sense. Cautiously, the 2 of you leave its chamber by a passage which leads to a flight of black stone steps. You ascend the steps to a domed chamber, which is sheathed with dull black stone. Heavy velvet hangings of ebony hue covers most of the walls, and all the furnishing are upholstered with the same morbid cloth. How can they see things in there? Everything's so freaking black! Like, even in broad daylight, you must constantly stumble into things. I mean, imagine that you're coming up there to meet the big bad evil warlord, he's like, I've been expecting you. And then he stumbles over a chair because he can't see things.
Well, they have velvet hands, and velvet is freaking thick,
Yep.
usually. Not only that, but they're apparently ebony,
Yep.
which is a dark red, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
Either that or it's a kind of tree. So they're velvet and tree, and
Velvet tree of the.
Ebony is at least some variation of black, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it's the black tree that I used to make the keys on the piano.
Yep.
Black keys. So they're velvets and black tree, and it must be dark in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just imagine being in there. Like, okay, so that's it for the meeting, guys. Now, can someone help me please find the door again?
But seriously, the whole thing with furniture all being in black and being unable to see anything. Yeah, it's sort of a disadvantage, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
Mostly because I think you actually need a live torch or something like that at your meeting to see anything, or maybe a lantern.
Hey,
The sensation of evil is stronger here. So strong that you feel as if you're slowly suffocating. It's here, you whisper, your hand reaching for your weapon. The Doomstone, I can feel its presence. Suddenly there's movement away to your left, and a blast of white-hot energy comes roaring toward your face.
oh, thank you. Now we can see something.
You dive aside in time to avoid it, but the bolt rebounds from the steel-hard wall and glances off the back of Proc's head, knocking him unconscious. You kneel beside Proc and check that he's still breathing. He's fortunate that the bolt struck him a glancing blow. Had it hit him squarely, it would have killed him outright. Then you hear a movement over on the far side of the chamber, and when you look up, you see Warlord Magnorn emerging from behind one of the many hanging black drapes. An aura of evil surrounds his body like a shimmering grey cocoon, and his features no longer appear as they did when first you encountered him in the subterranean labyrinth of the Temple of Anta. Now his body is twisted and mummy-like, and feverish eyes burns from black sockets within a bald skull of a face. You sense that he is wholly possessed by the object he holds clenched in his shrunken hand, the Naira Scepter. The dread scepter hums with the power of the Doomstone that is set upon his platinum shaft. Magnon utters an evil laugh and points the scepter at you, but curiously you feel no weakness or leeching of strength as occurred at Anta. The Warlord's sick eyes widen with surprise, and you sense that he is fearful. He threatens you with death, but his voice is wavering. He is unsure of his power. Then you sense another presence, a magical presence. A wispy shape emerged from behind another curtain, summoned forth by Magnorn, and at once you recognize it to be the formless life force of a Natsiranim sorcerer. You hear Magnorn issue a psychic command, ordering the creature to slay you, and immediately it responds. Swiftly it moves across the chamber, changing shape as it draws closer. It is no more than 10 feet distant when it solidifies into a form which is truly horrifying to behold.
And apparently it is
Let's
so
have
terrifying.
it! I want to see this. I want to see it.
The Natsiranim sorcerer has taken on the visage of a great snuffling beast, which creeps towards you on 6 long clawed feet. A vile bulbous head is perched uneasily on its immense shoulders, and its baleful milky-colored eyes roll like balls of mist within its scabrous head. The reeking fur of its body seems to bristle as slowly with ponderous steps it draws closer and closer, and oh my god. What? I'm not sure it beat the 2 big teeth rodent, but still, this is pretty ridiculous. Behold! The dread form!
Okay, what is so... Holy hell! What the hell is that?
I think he's trying to kill Lone Wolf with laughter.
It looks like you took a giant rat and a dragon claws and then just put in a very ugly looking head, oversized the eyes, and then added a boar snout, just for good measure.
But look, it has spiral eyes.
It looks like It looks like what would happen if Snuffleupagus found the One Ring.
I don't even know what that is, but
It's
seriously.
a rat with an oversized brain and big eyes and a triangular mouth.
Yeah.
Seriously, doesn't it look like a mix between Snuffleupagus and Gollum?
Oh, yeah, I can see where you're going with this. The creature.
They thought that would be terrifying. No offense, Natsiranen, but do over.
Go back into a corner and come back when you can be terrifying.
It's so ridiculous that it's almost cute.
Yeah.
But like, it should have, maybe without the triangular mouth, then it would have been perfect.
Okay.
Get a hug. You're so ridiculous. I feel really sorry
Seriously,
for you.
given you should place this in the children's section of the zoo. Just have this thing press its face against, the glass and just scare children at random.
Oh, children.
Well, it's obviously tame, so yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe with a little training, they could even pet it. This
Yeah.
thing needs a hug.
Yeah. Seriously, the first time around, I sort of get the feeling the children will react sort of in the way of, Mommy!
Or they would keel over from laughing. The creature opens its great jaws, and from the depths of its throat it coughs forth a guttering ball of flame. Immediately your sense alert you to the fact that this is no ordinary fireball. It is wholly psychic in nature. It comes roaring towards you like a mini-sun, trailing fiery orange sparks. You strike it with the Summersword, and as your divine blade connects, the fiery ball suddenly explodes into a million motes of light which rapidly dissolve. The sudden jolt of contact knocks you backward. Before you fully recover your footing, the creature seizes its advantage and comes leaping through the air towards your chest. Desperately, you roll across the black stone floor to avoid the creature's initial attack. Your swift reaction saves you from the razor claws, but it too possesses lightning reflexes. It leaps once more and you barely have enough time to unsheath your weapon, which you have already used. So why did you sheath it again, Lone Wolf?
No idea.
Idiot! Before it lands upon you, slams you to the ground. You're now fighting Natsiranen polymorphed into a tar demon form.
Tar demon.
Tar demon. Yes.
I can just imagine every time it tries and run around and attack us. I do not really picture it so much as roaring like a monster, but sort of more like a pig, going.
Actually, pigs scream
Oh.
when they're loud.
A screaming pig then.
Yes. In any case, Gvinir, roll the die.